Hello everyone, my name is Thor and welcome back to Anthropology. Hello! Hello, welcome to today's video. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. On this channel, I talk all about things fashion related, analyzing things within the industry, as well as mindful consumption. So if you're into that, please consider subscribing. Like this video if you want to, comment anything down below as well. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So glad that you're here for this one. This one will be another podcast style video. I've been getting into these a little bit more sit down style, so feel free to put me on in the background. Do some laundry, cook some food, just do some work, whatever it may be, grab a coffee, chillax. This one is gonna be chit-chatty. So today we're talking about the metaverse fashion, or the metapurse as I'm calling it. The metapurse will be broken down into a few different parts. One will be on what is the metaverse? Like, what are we talking about? What is this new digital landscape? Is it even new? Is it already here? The next one will be real money versus like resale. Like, is there any value to these items that people are purchasing? Third point will be the brands and the items associated or that are already being built into the metaverse. And then the last point will be, is this the future or is this just a fad? So we're going to be talking through these points. If you're interested, please keep watching. So the first part I want to talk about a little bit is the metaverse itself. What is the metaverse? Where does it exist? Who exists in it? Is it a real thing? So the metaverse, I am no expert. This is just me chatting through my thoughts about it. But the metaverse, as I understand it, is a digital landscape. The people leading the metaverse are hoping that it will be a secondary sort of digital version of life that exists in parallel to the real world. Think Ready Player One. I feel like you kind of have to be living under a rock if you are unfamiliar with the metaverse, but it is this new emerging concept sort of driven by Apple, driven by Meta, so Mark Zuckerberg, and various other players in the tech space that are looking to make this the future, to make this a reality for a lot of people. So the metaverse itself, I feel like we exist in it a lot, and especially with the pandemic, working online, I basically work in the metaverse. I work from my house, but I'm connected to a variety of different people through the internet, and I have my own online presence here on YouTube and now a little bit on TikTok, but I only use TikTok to make shorts for YouTube, so let's just keep that in mind. But we all sort of have a digital presence in some way, which is our digital footprint in the metaverse. The metaverse itself seems to be a little bit milky, like it's a little bit cloudy on where it ends and where it begins and who does what in where. But a lot of what we've seen from the media is that the metaverse basically is existing in VR or virtual reality spaces, or areas where people can build avatars, like Roblox, for example, which will be a main one that we're talking about today. But it's just different areas where people can exist in a virtual reality, interact with other people in a virtual space, buy virtual things, dress their avatar in different outfits, buy land even. I like to think of it as a parallel virtual world that exists in our own. And I don't know if this is the future, I don't know where we're going, but that's just to sort of set the scene. So one thing that I find quite interesting is that real money from the real world is being spent to build the virtual one. And Roblox is one of the spaces that we're going to be talking about a lot today. They have really been pushing different areas, different ways to exist in a virtual open landscape. You can build characters. I do not play Roblox, but I have noticed that they have been collaborating with a variety of other artists, like Blackpink did a concert in Roblox. I think Lil Nas X also did a Roblox concert. I don't know who the target market is for Roblox, whether it's children or whether it's adults. It seems to be a little bit cloudy, and it's sort of a mixing ground for both. I like to think of it a bit like Club Penguin. Does anyone remember Club Penguin? That, I think, is a metaverse type place where people can use real money to dress avatars, to interact with other users in real time, and to basically build a virtual life for themselves. So a lot of brands have taken notice of this phenomenon where people are flocking to build virtual characters. I mean, the virtual reality space and these open worlds are not new. As I mentioned before, Club Penguin was there, back when I was a child, as well as INVU, which is sort of like I think maybe that is the blueprint for what we're experiencing now with all of these different companies pushing to build that again. I mean, I think now we have a lot of companies, like legitimate brands, wanting to create looks based on their most recent fashion shows and most recent lines for characters in the virtual reality world. So people can basically have their VR self emulate their real self, or have their VR self reflect a vision or reflect a version of themselves that they want to show to others. So I was reading this article from Vogue Business. I'll put up just like a little screen grab here. But basically, Burberry is selling handbags made of clouds, water, and wild foliage, with each design available for 24 hours only on Roblox, marking the British brand's latest step towards digital fashion in the metaverse. So Burberry released a few things recently around their Lola bag. We have this green one here. We have this one with, you know, flowers, and it's like a meadow. We have this one with clouds, and here we are seeing it on a Roblox character. The Roblox characters look like little Lego men, so think of your Lego person with a Burberry bag. That is what is happening in the metaverse. So basically the only materials that these are made of is computer code, and what they are selling for is around 800 Robux, which is equivalent to £8.99. In real life, the Lola sells for around £14.90, which I believe is, it's like 2,500 Canadian. So where it gets a little weird is that Gucci created a limited edition virtual accessories line with their Dionysus bag with the bee. When they were released, they were priced between $1.20 and $9 on Roblox, and I believe this is US dollars. And some buyers were willing to purchase these items for 350,000 Robux or $4,115. Now, let's take a look at what this bag actually looks like, because listen, someone paid $4,115 in real money for this bag when the in real life version is only $3,400. So, I mean, like, this purse has no real value on Roblox. It is not an NFT, thus it has no value, cannot transfer it outside of the Roblox world. This may change going forward, but as of right now, things happening within the Roblox world stay within the Roblox world. I think it's honestly, I don't want to say insane, but I think it's very interesting that people are willing to spend such large sums of money to dress a virtual character in designer items. Now, Gucci and Burberry are not the only fashion houses to take on this journey. Ralph Lauren was spotted in the Roblox online universe as well, building a snow and ski collection. And then Balenciaga has also been pretty heavily into Fortnite. They created a Fortnite x Balenciaga collection with just like hoodies and bodysuits, where people can spend real money to dress their characters like this. One that I thought was super interesting was companies that are basically taking designs from other brands, like the whole Birkin, the Birkin NFT, where people were building like fuzzy Birkins in the metaverse to sell to others at really high prices, whereas Hermes themselves had no say and they were not approving the use of their product or the shape of their bag in this way. So a lot of people have taken notice that the luxury world and the metaverse seem to be able to coexist and integrate well together, but I just find it so interesting. Like, let me pose this question to you. Would you spend more money on something in the metaverse than it costs in the real universe because it's a luxury item? Like, luxury basically in the metaverse sense only exists in terms of image and in terms of name. It does not exist in terms of functionality. It does not exist in terms of quality of the material. A lot of the brands that we come to know and love within the luxury world, they exist and we value their products. We can justify the price of their items because we know we're getting something that's quality, something that's artisanal, something that has a long heritage, something that we can have for a long time and potentially pass down to others. However, with these bags that are existing within the Roblox universe, they are non-transferable. We cannot give them to our grandchildren. We cannot bring them to a ceremony or like a wedding. We cannot bring them out on the town and use them in our everyday life. If we do this, we can only use them as we play a game. Paying $8 or $9 to dress your Roblox character in a Burberry bag is not a lot of money. And that's not really my concern. Like, do whatever you want with your character, you know? But what I do find interesting is just people spending more money than the real life version on a fake version or on a virtual version for a character that exists within a closed universe. So what I find interesting is Burberry's global vice president of channel innovation basically said this quote in relation to these brands, and I'll just read it, I'll put it up here as well. So with this particular project, it's not just about the bag and how it exists in the real world, but it's playful and imaginative in that if it didn't have to exist in the limitations of the physical world, what would you do to bring the bag's attitude and our brand's elements to life? So I definitely find it interesting that a lot of other brands are jumping on this as well, trying to take the essence from their physical houses, from their physical lines, and transport them to a virtual world where people will ascribe the same value to them. I like that, you know, there's one with clouds, there's one with butterflies. Like, obviously this could not exist in the real world due to obvious things, but I like the playfulness of the metaverse in this sense. Also, I thought this was quite interesting. So here we have Mark Zuckerberg's AI, or Mark Zuckerberg's avatar with, I don't know who is next to him, but we can see three distinctive looks from three different brands. We have the Balenciaga outfits, we have the Prada outfits, and then we also have the Tom Brown outfits. I don't know if these exist yet or if they will exist, but I definitely think it interesting that people want to dress their avatars in luxury goods because they're obviously it's just an image or it's just clothing for your character. Like, you can't feel the garments, you can't wear the garments, you won't exist in the garments, but your avatar will. And like, people are probably wondering, why are brands doing this? Why are they doing this? So a lot of brands are doing this because they can get so much money and there is no inventory, there is no supply chain, there is no manufacturing issues. What we saw in the pandemic, where a lot of luxury houses were dealing with supply chain issues and obviously getting things to customers, this is not the same. It's basically, these items are lines of code. There is no issue around manufacturing, sourcing the materials, building the goods, distributing them, having them sit in stores, having them potentially go on sale, filling up the real world with the waste from these goods. They only exist in the metaverse, they only exist online. So it's basically pure profit for these brands. They won't have to put in very much to get a high return out. If Burberry is charging around $9 for this bag, it probably cost them like 1 cent to make, basically. Like, let's be real, it really cost them nothing to make. It's just pure profit. If Gucci sold a fake bag for $4,500 where they didn't really have to build anything other than like a JPEG picture, they're winning. And I find it really interesting here, going back to the Birkin. These people, so Dematerialized is a British startup group that basically, they want to become the digital department store of everyone's dreams. They want to become a place where people can shop digitally for their avatars, but it's a win for them because they're getting real money in exchange for virtual goods. I'm not saying that it doesn't take a lot of money to manufacture these goods. You know, there's like designers involved, there's software engineers involved. Obviously, those people have to be paid, but they are saving on general labor for salespeople. They're saving on general labor for leasing store space. They're saving on general labor for actually building and supplying the goods and sourcing the materials and everything else. So it's basically like they're just at the point where they're taking a picture and posting it onto a website. I want to read this quote here as well. So the first piece bought online in this department store that only exists online was a silver sweater selling for around $137. Since its whole run, they have around 1,212 digital renderings they sold out within 3 hours. That is amazing. They also have a single garment or a single non-garment worth around 9,000 euros. 9,000 euros on a picture, on a JPEG picture. Let that sink in. I also want to talk about this one. So Burberry's Sharky Bee collection, the Block Party, it sold out for $400,000. Basically, people are purchasing this NFT non-fungible token, which only exists on your computer, for 400,000 real dollars. Now, come on now. As I mentioned before, these are just skins, they're shells, these are only things that you can do to customize your character, much like dressing in real life customizes your body. The difference is these have no real function, but they cost real money, whereas your clothing has real function while also costing real money. So I want to know, do people think this is the future? Will the real world cease to exist and the metaverse basically take over? Is the metaverse just something fun that people are lashing onto right now? What do you think? Would you spend $4,000 on a virtual bag? Would you spend even $8 on a virtual bag? Do you exist in the metaverse? Do you have a Roblox, account, and do you build this yourself? Like, let me know what you think. As someone that's not really involved in these open source virtual worlds, I can't say from firsthand experience, but I just find the whole thing so fascinating that people are investing so much real money into this. Like, we're not even going to talk about the real estate aspect because, they're manufacturing so much scarcity by having things only available for 24 hours, having things available in limited quantities, but it's like, there's no resale value to this. And it's just JPEG pictures. So that's my video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you exist in the metaverse. Let me know if you're buying fake Gucci bags for your body. But yeah, I hope to see y'all next time. Bye, guys.